We were not just seizing drugs, we were also dismantling the cartel's logistics.
After weeks of gathering intelligence, ICE has busted a cartel airstrip right in the heart of Arizona, stopping billions of dollars worth of drugs from getting into the state. But while this seems like a massive win in the war against drugs, it's only a matter of time before the cartels find new workarounds.
This isn't a scene from a cartel thriller. This is a direct, coordinated attack on American law enforcement, happening right now on the streets of Chicago. The Department of Homeland Security has just unveiled a terrifying new front in the border crisis. A structured bounty program where cartels are offering cold, hard cash for the assault, kidnapping, and even assassination of ICE and Border Patrol agents. We're not talking about random threats. We're talking about a tiered payment system, with prices on the heads of the men and women who protect our border.
Tonight, tear gas deployed after another clash in Chicago during President Trump's crackdown on illegal immigration. Homeland Security officials say an SUV carrying an undocumented immigrant trying to flee arrest first rammed a Border Patrol vehicle. Then the Border Patrol vehicle crashed into the SUV to stop it. Chicago police say a hostile crowd started throwing objects at federal agents who then deployed tear gas. 13 officers were exposed to it.
There's absolutely no reason to have this kind of chaos happening in our communities, putting people at risk, just exacerbating the fear that people feel right now.
The latest clash comes as DHS says Mexican drug cartels are now offering cash to target ICE officers and other federal agents. $5,000 to $10,000 for kidnapping or assaults on officers, and up to $50,000 for the...
Let's break down the price list, because that's what this is. According to DHS, the cartels have disseminated a clear financial incentive for violence. $2,000 for intelligence gathering and doxing, for publishing agents' photos, personal details, and family information. $5,000 to $10,000 for the kidnapping or non-lethal assault of a standard ICE or CBP officer. And the top tier, up to $50,000 for the assassination of a high-ranking official. This isn't a vague rumor. It's what DHS labels credible intelligence, and it's already moving from theory to action. Just 2 weeks ago, the Justice Department charged an alleged ranking member of the Chicago-based Latin Kings, Juan Espinoza Martinez, with soliciting the murder of a senior U.S. Border Patrol official involved in the Chicago operations. His alleged offer on Snapchat? $10K if you take him down. So, why Chicago? Because this is the epicenter of Operation Midway Blitz, one of the largest immigration enforcement surges in recent memory. For over a month, federal agents have been on the ground, making over 1,500 arrests and turning the city into a battleground. And the cartels are not backing down. They're adapting with military-style tactics. Gangs like the Latin Kings have deployed spotters, armed with firearms and radio communications to provide the real-time movements of federal agents. In neighborhoods like Pilsen and Little Village, these lookouts are posted on rooftops, leading to ambushes and creating chaos during routine operations. DHS Secretary Kristi Noem didn't mince words. Our agents are facing ambushes, drone surveillance, and death threats, all because they dare to enforce the laws. This is the reality. The very uniforms and badges that signify authority have now become targets for a price.
Yeah, like doing that.
So, what does this all mean? This is more than just a spike in violence. This is a strategic escalation. The DHS states that criminal networks are not just resisting the rule of law, they are waging an organized campaign of terror. The bounty system proves this is a calculated business decision, designed to intimidate federal personnel and disrupt enforcement actions by making the cost of doing their job too high. This campaign of intimidation extends beyond the cartels. The Trump administration has also designated Antifa as a terrorist organization, and DHS has arrested individuals with suspected ties to the group outside the ICE facility in Broadview, accusing them of providing logistical support, disclosing agents' private information, and interfering with operations. The battlefield is both physical and digital, fought with guns, radios, and doxing campaigns. The arrests continue, the bounties stand, and the message from the highest levels of government is clear. We will not back down from these threats. But a haunting question remains. When a mother in Memphis can be attacked online for simply thanking law enforcement for making her neighborhood safe, what does that say about the environment we're creating for those same officers? This line connects to the user's previous script example. They are being hunted for a paycheck while their mission is politicized at home. This isn't just a story about a bounty. It's a story about a nation at a breaking point, where the very agents tasked with enforcing the law have become the most high-value targets. The question is no longer if the system is broken, but how much darker it will get before it's finally fixed. According to the brief press release, Mexican criminal networks have directed collaborators in the United States to monitor, harass, and even assassinate deployed federal agents. They detail a structured reward system to incentivize violence against federal personnel, with payments increasing based on rank and the action taken. $2,000 for gathering information or disclosing personal data about agents, including photos and family details. Between $5,000 and $10,000 for kidnapping or non-lethal assaults on ICE or CBP agents, and up to $50,000 for the assassination of high-ranking officials. In Chicago's predominantly Mexican neighborhoods of Pilsen and Little Village, alleged gang members from groups like the so-called Latin Kings have posted lookouts on neighborhood rooftops equipped with firearms and radios, DHS says. They add that this surveillance has led to ambushes and disturbances during routine police operations and immigration raids. Most of the accusations are focused on Chicago, but DHS is also targeting groups allegedly affiliated with Antifa, recently designated a terrorist group by the Trump administration, despite no clear evidence of its existence as an organized entity. In Portland, Oregon, another city where federal agents have been deployed in recent weeks, it accuses them of providing logistical support for protests, disclosing agents' private information, and directly interfering in operations to protect individuals allegedly linked to cartels from deportation proceedings. These criminal networks are not just resisting the rule of law, they are waging an organized campaign of terror against the brave men and women who protect our borders and communities, Secretary Kristi Noem said in the official statement. Our agents are facing ambushes, drone surveillance, and death threats, all because they dare to enforce the laws passed by Congress. We will not back down from these threats, and every criminal, terrorist, and illegal alien will face American justice. The DHS accusations bring together two declared enemies of Trumpism who have occasionally clashed, though generally remained separate targets. On the one hand, migrants and their defenders, such as sanctuary cities, and on the other, Latin American drug cartels. The Trump administration has devoted virtually all the domestic force the federal government can deploy to the former. It has recruited thousands of agents from agencies like the DEA and FBI for immigration duties, and has sent National Guard troops to so-called sanctuary cities like Chicago and Portland, inflaming the atmosphere despite presenting themselves as peacekeepers. And the latter have been categorized as terrorist groups, which allows the White House to legally attack them directly, even abroad, as it has done with the alleged drug boats it has sunk in Caribbean waters near Venezuela in recent weeks. If in each previous case the accusatory statements presented without evidence by the government were the preamble to military action, alleged riots led by Antifa to justify the deployment of the National Guard. So far denied by 2 judges who have halted the internal military mobilization, this new escalation could have unforeseeable consequences. This is the new front line, not at the border, but on a residential street in Chicago. What started as a single high-speed chase has exploded into a scene that looks more like a war zone, with federal agents deploying tear gas against American citizens. This isn't an isolated event. It's the direct, violent consequence of a federal crackdown colliding head-on with a city that refuses to back down. Here's what triggered the standoff. According to the Department of Homeland Security, during an immigration operation, a driver suspected of being in the country illegally rammed a Border Patrol vehicle and fled. A chase ensued, ending on Chicago's South Side. As agents moved in to make the arrest, a crowd gathered. The official story says objects were thrown, and the response was immediate and brutal. Federal agents deployed tear gas, enveloping protesters and a residential street in a choking white haze. But this is not the first time. This is a pattern, a deliberate tactic becoming routine. Just over the weekend, tear gas was deployed in Albany Park. Earlier this month, agents threw canisters near a grocery store where families were shopping and children were at recess. Andrew Denton, a witness, said it perfectly. It feels pretty sad that this is the reality. The strategy is clear: overwhelming disruptive force to shatter resistance, and it's creating scenes Governor J.B. Pritzker called abominable, stating he's never seen it like this in the United States of America. So, what are we really seeing? This is a battle being waged on 2 interconnected fronts. The first is on the streets, where protesters are now actively tracking and confronting federal agents. This has led to dangerously close quarters conflicts, including a recent incident where a Border Patrol agent exited his vehicle and fired 5 shots, injuring a woman after prosecutors say activists boxed in his car. The second front is in the halls of power. While federal agents turn Chicago neighborhoods into gas-filled zones, immigration activists are in Springfield, rallying to expand the state's Trust Act, the very legislation that designates it a sanctuary state and prohibits local police from cooperating with ICE. One side is escalating force, the other is fortifying legal barriers. They are on a direct collision course. The message from the federal government is no longer just delivered in press releases. It's delivered in canisters of tear gas on American streets. It's delivered in the crackle of police radios and the sound of gunfire. The administration is demonstrating that if a city declares itself a sanctuary, they will treat it as hostile territory. The initial chase is almost irrelevant now. It was merely the spark. The real story is the inferno that followed. An inferno of mistrust, division, and raw power. The line between law enforcement and military occupation is blurring, and the people of Chicago are caught in the middle, holding their breath. But that's not all, because schools, too, are in trouble.
Teachers in Chicago are speaking out, criticizing immigration enforcement taking place near schools, saying the operations are disrupting classes and traumatizing children. In one incident, a teacher said tear gas drifted toward a playground, forcing students to move inside for recess. In one social media video that went viral, law enforcement officers can be seen dragging 2 women from a car right outside a school as parents were picking up their children.
Wait, you guys came to the school and to do this?
I have a warrant. I haven't asked for a warrant. My name is Jocelyn from Cicero. They don't have a warrant. They didn't ask for one. They forcefully opened the door of the truck.
This isn't just an arrest. It's a new low. A new line crossed in the escalating war for the streets of Chicago. Federal agents, in a move that shocked even seasoned commentators, forcibly removed 2 women from their car in broad daylight right near a school. The scene was chaotic, it was confrontational, and it's a window into the brutal reality of Operation Midway Blitz. This is the strategy on the ground, and it's playing out in front of our children. According to reports, ICE agents moved in on the vehicle, pulling the women out as the community watched in horror. The reaction was immediate and visceral, with one witness capturing the sheer disbelief of the moment, saying, "This is crazy." And they're right, it is crazy. Because when enforcement actions target people in the shadow of schoolyards, they're not just making arrests, they're shattering any last illusion of safety and sowing terror in the very places meant to be sanctuaries for our kids. This incident is not isolated, it's part of a deliberate pattern, a tactic of intimidation that we've seen escalate from tear gas in residential neighborhoods to now confrontations at the school gate. The goal is clear: overwhelm, disrupt, and demoralize. But the backlash is growing. Governor Pritzker has condemned the aggressive tactics, and community members have organized guardian angel networks to protect children arriving at and leaving school. This is where we are. When parents need to form human shields to get their kids to class without fear of being caught in a federal immigration raid, something has fundamentally broken. The administration claims it's restoring order, but its methods are creating scenes of chaos that are being met with disbelief across the nation. The question is no longer about the legality of a single arrest, but about the cost of this strategy to the fabric of our communities. How many more crazy scenes will it take before the public demands a return to sanity?